What the Los Angeles Lakers did to the Phoenix Suns on Friday is exactly what the Phoenix Suns just did to the Los Angeles Lakers after the Lakers got up 18 points quick and early in that third quarter. I believe it was 26-8 against the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix fights back. They rally at the end of the half. They get the lead back, and they ultimately win this game against the Los Angeles Lakers, as the Lakers now lose their first game under new head coach JJ Redick, and now they fall back down to earth. And media is going to go crazy, but we're going to keep it 100 here on Lakers Digest. So welcome to the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so right now. Here's why. 25% of you guys who watch the videos are already subscribed. So shout out to you guys that are subscribed. But 74.5% of you guys aren't subscribed, and you already watch the content anyway. So just stop what you're doing right now and subscribe. I know we're feeling down and horrendous and terrible right now because the Lakers just lost. But guess what? This is not college football. You can afford to lose games. There's 82 of them, and there's still a lot of basketball left to be played here. But we're going to break down tonight's game here, what to expect for the rest of the road trip here. Oh, and by the way, my name's Hunter Pitcoff. If you didn't see down below, I probably should introduce myself, especially if this is your first time watching, as it is still the start of the regular season here. So I'm excited to talk some hoops, and unfortunately, this was not a great one for the Lakers because this was bad. It blew an 18-point lead. The Lakers were down 22 against the Phoenix Suns just a handful of days ago on Friday night, and they were able to claw their way back and win that game. But the Suns pretty much just did exactly what the Lakers did. I mean, I wish I had a prop with me, but they pretty much just pulled out the Uno reverse card on the Lakers, and now both teams sit atop of the Pacific Division in the Western Conference at 3-1 records. So that's still, in my opinion, for the Lakers, a pretty good start to your season. You've played 3 caliber playoff teams in the Timberwolves, the Suns, and the Sacramento Kings, and you're able to at least split a matchup against the Suns in after you guys just played 3 days prior. That's pretty tough to beat a team twice like that, essentially in that short of amount of time. But they were able to win one. Suns won theirs, and they move on. But of course, one of the big storylines here is JJ Redick taking accountability after the game. And Laker fans don't really understand what accountability means from a head coach with Darvin Ham last season. But JJ Redick, what he said during his first loss after the game was, there's one thing to nitpick. It's probably me. We should never have had a 14-point quarter. 4 points would be insane. That's on me. And so JJ Redick is referring to the second quarter where the Lakers only scored 14 points, which especially in today's NBA, that's pretty rough. And the Lakers also got outscored 33-22 in the fourth quarter too. And while, yes, players are the ones out there on the court making the plays, hitting shots, playing defense, rebounding, making the right pass, this, that, and the third, coaches got to put them in that situation. And while JJ Redick has gotten so much praise from not only Laker Nation, but also throughout all of the NBA for the job he's done, and I have also seconded that. I think JJ's done one hell of a job with the Lakers so far. He's taking accountability where it's due, and I thought that JJ Redick did in fact get outcoached by Mike Budenholzer in this game. I thought that the Phoenix Suns had a lot better looks. I thought similar to what we saw last year, I think they kind of shied away from Anthony Davis when they needed most. I mean, there was a horrible missed call at the end of that game where Mason Plumlee and Bradley Beal both shove Anthony Davis in the back. Lakers were down 3. AD gets, if he is able to go to the line, I think it was like a minute 7 left in the game, make both free throws. It's only a 1-point game, and rather than a 3-point game where the Lakers are put in a really, really tough spot. And obviously it was all set in stone, and the Phoenix Suns go on and win that basketball game. But look, it's a make or miss call league too, as Mark Jackson once said, but I'm not going to blame the refs for this loss. I mean, the Lakers, when you're up 18 points, I don't care what game it is, and I know the Lakers, again, just came back from 22 points in the game against Phoenix on Friday. You have to take care of business and win the game. So the Suns are a great team. They have a great offense. They're more than capable of coming back in these games, and they certainly did. And Kevin Durant, Devin Booker were able to get the shots they wanted. Royce O'Neal, your unsung hero, had a phenomenal game. Mason Plumlee, again, 10 rebounds, had 0 points, but 10 rebounds is huge for him. And I thought, they did a pretty good job kind of forcing the Lakers out of their action. And if they didn't make tough shots like Rui and Austin and Anthony Davis did down the stretch, then I don't even think they have a shot in this game, because I thought they got thoroughly outplayed, especially in the fourth quarter, which is, of course, where you make your money. And speaking of guys who did not necessarily play that well, LeBron James almost lost a streak. Now, I don't have the exact number in front of me, guys. I'm sorry. I probably should have looked this up before doing this video, and I apologize. But it's at least 1,200-plus games that LeBron James has scored at least 10 points in, which is insane, because you can accidentally not score 10 points. Like, you get hurt in the first, knock on wood, 3 or 5 minutes of the game, and you're out, and then that streak's over. But LeBron James has scored more points consecutively in games he's played, 10 or more points in 1,200-plus games, and Shaquille O'Neal has played in games in his entire basketball career. So that just shows you how dominant LeBron's been, how consistent LeBron's been. And that streak, if it wasn't for LeBron hitting that three-pointer against late in the fourth quarter in that game, that streak would have been over. And if you look at his numbers here, guys, they were pretty rough. 3 of 14 from the field in 36 minutes. Did go 2 of 5 from 3, which kind of bailed him out. 3 of 6 from the line, though. I thought he had some pretty bad turnovers. I wanted that he let go to Anthony Davis. That was pretty rough. And then he also had one in the fourth quarter as well, where I think he was trying to get it to Austin, and it just got intercepted. It was a bad play by LeBron. But 11 points in this one, 8 assists. Of course, he tried to, and this is going to be a controversial, they're going to talk about it online probably, but LeBron James, they're down 2 points. He gets fouled down 3, intentionally fouled by Kevin Durant. He makes the first one, intentionally misses the second, tries to throw it off the front of the rim and catch it. People might have been pissed off about that. I actually kind of liked it because, one, the Suns did not see it coming. They did not at all. And then LeBron James, if he just had the right pass off the rim, you're supposed to hit right at the front of the rim. The ball can't go down. It's got to go up or it's got to go straight. And ideally, if you're the foul shooter, you can't cross, the free throw line, because that's pretty easy to do when you're throwing the ball. You're almost passing it to yourself off the rim. I actually thought it was the right play. The Suns didn't see it coming. I thought the Suns were super smart fouling LeBron there, and because the Lakers also didn't have a timeout. So if the Suns get the ball back, they get fouled with 3 seconds left. They make both free throws. The Lakers have 3 seconds to go down the court, and they're not going to get a good look at it. So I actually thought this was a right move by LeBron. I respected it. It just didn't work out. But again, I don't think they were one intentionally missed rebound off a free throw away from winning this game. There was a lot of ways that the Lakers lost this one, and that Phoenix quite ultimately won this one. And I think one of those things, too, is the Lakers, only shooting 41.5% from the field, while they did shoot really well from 3. That bailed them out. They didn't really shoot that great from the field, and only making 13 of 18 of your free throw attempts, whereas if you look at the Phoenix Suns here, they went 18 and 20 and made 90% of theirs. So to me, I think that was a big momentum boost in this game for them. And then also, too, some overarching storylines these first 4 games. Now we know the Lakers are not Superman. They do have kryptonite here. There is something that can go wrong for them. I'm not a big superhero I don't really be watching that, so I could be totally wrong on that. I apologize. But can the Lakers bounce back? Because they got a pretty important stretch of games coming up here. After starting the first 3 games in Crypto.com Arena, they have just finished Game 1, Phoenix, of this 5-game road stand. And they're going to be heading to Cleveland. LeBron, of course, his former stomping grounds, his homecoming, on Wednesday here at, I believe is 4 p.m. Pacific time. So it's a little bit rough for you LA commuters out there on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast, but I'll be tuned in watching that game. Then they're also going to be playing the Toronto Raptors just 2 days after that game. Then they play the Pistons, I believe, after. Then the Toronto Raptors. And then they're going to be heading out to Memphis to finish off that stretch. So I might have the order wrong between Detroit and Toronto, but those 2 games are the next 2 games after this game against Cleveland. So some East Coast competition there, as well as, you sprinkle in your little Memphis Grizzlies there, new look team with John Morant back and healthy. So what do the Lakers need to do to bounce back? For one, you need to take care of the bad teams. That's something that they struggled with mightily against Darvin Ham last year. I felt like they would constantly be losing games they probably should have won. Detroit and Toronto, these guys are in the Cooper Flag race right now for the number 1 overall pick. They are not trying to win games. It's early in the season. They might have some more energy, but those are two teams that you need to put away. They struggled to put away both those teams last year multiple times, and Toronto might have actually beat the Lakers once, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think the Lakers did win both times, but they did almost lose to them both twice. I remember Anthony Davis had one of his worst games this season. D'Angelo Russell was phenomenal in one of those games. So those are two teams you have to win. And then between Cleveland and Memphis, these are two teams that are going to be fighting for playoff spots this year. The Cavs did make the playoffs last year, and the Grizzlies kind of just had a rough season with all the injuries they had. If you can split those games, so you win one of those two games, you win both Detroit and Toronto, and then you did lose to Phoenix. You go 3-2 in that road trip. You're 6-2, and you got 3 straight games at home. That's a great spot to be in if you're the Lakers, especially considering that 5 of the first 8 opponents, actually probably 6 of the first 8 opponents, are teams that very well could be playoff teams this year. So they have not had an easy start to the schedule at all, and they have fared pretty well. I also want to see more out of this bench unit, though, because if we look at the stat sheet here again, and games aren't played on a piece of paper, they're played on the basketball court, but eye test will tell you this too. The Lakers bench has not been very good. Dalton Knecht, really the only guy that has been able to score for the Lakers off the bench, didn't score a single point in this game, 0-3 from the field in only 11 minutes. Max Christie only had 5. Gabe Vincent had 3. Jackson Hayes, who's actually had a pretty good start to the season, laid a goose egg for the Los Angeles Lakers. So they're going to need more bench production. To me, Dalton Knecht, I've been impressed, but, he's just a rookie. He's going to have his ups and downs. Gabe Vincent, to me, is going to have to be someone who needs to be a bit more aggressive out there and looking a little bit more for his shot. I've liked what I've seen defensively. I think he's been a nice fit. And I have been curious to see this, too, because it seems like J.J. Redick has trusted Gabe Vincent more down the stretch than D'Angelo Russell. And if poop hits the fan, to keep it YouTube friendly, and D'Angelo Russell can't hit water if he threw a ball in the ocean, because he has those, the D'Angelo Russell roller coaster, when he's down and he's not up, we know what happens. J.J. Redick's going to pull the plug, and he's going to put Gabe Vincent in to finish those games, because Gabe provides the ball handling and the defense that D'Angelo Russell doesn't. Well, they're both good ball handlers, but the defense that D'Lo does not. And we saw that again tonight for the second time against the Phoenix Suns this season. So I'm curious to see if that continues to be a trend. I think it's going to be. The fact that the Lakers are struggling off the bench to get anything done, is there a world where maybe D'Angelo Russell either plays more with the second unit or perhaps even comes off the bench? I mean, I don't know. The Lakers are going to look to make a move. That's also possible. But again, Rob Pelinka did say before the season, 30 games in, then he'll decide what to do with his roster. But again, guys, the Lakers are still 3-1. They're in a good spot. This is not the end of the world. This is a game that they only lost by a few points, and I kind of think they beat themselves more than the Phoenix Suns beat them. Give credit to Phoenix where it's due. Kevin Durant played awesome. Devin Booker played awesome. Royce O'Neal had a hell of a game. I thought the rookie Ryan Dunn looked really good. Mason Plumlee, sneaky good game for him as well. And Bradley Beal hit some shots. So, again, guys, Lakers lose this one. First loss of the season. First loss in J.J. Redick's career, despite LeBron probably playing the worst game he's ever played as a Laker. And yet they still sit at 3-1. I didn't even mention Anthony Davis and Austin and Rui all having 20-plus point games. They all were fantastic in this one. I think all had at least 20 points and 8-plus rebounds. So they've been doing their thing all season. So shout out to those 3 guys. And LeBron's going to be fine, guys. Let's not overreact. LeBron James is going to be fine. He just had a 30-point triple-double. I think the man just needs some rest. But anyway, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Leave a comment down below as well. Love talking to you guys. Love interacting with you guys here on Lakers Digest. And again, the Lakers have their next upcoming game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James homecoming. He definitely will have an extra pep in his step. That's 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. if you're on the East Coast like me. Again, Hunter Pitcoff here for Lakers Digest.